If you die regularly
As a
and get
soul.
converted to Reishi, you take your clothes with you.
Yeah.
But if this magic one, you're dropping your clothes and it's weird.
So I want to know the one first dude that's just like, this is fucking weird. Because I just know that they all strip naked completely.
Warning, this Bleach podcast features many spoilers from the upcoming anime arc 1000-Year Blood War. So if you've not read the manga or you do not want to hear spoilers for the upcoming arc, viewer discretion is advised.
What is up? Welcome to Bleach Boys number 21. We're zooming. We're heading all the way. We get the full flashbacks of the Vizard. Flashbacks is what we're going to call that. We make all the way through. There's 6 or 7 episodes of it. Not the most thrilling.
I thought it was riveting.
But it was almost like Josh made a comment as we were watching. We almost needed like a diagram chart or like
and he said that the first episode.
Like who is related to who? What time period is this taking place in? Like when does Ichigo's dad come in after that? We were talking about. We kept thinking maybe Hitsugaya was going to show up at some point.
As a baby.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, it's just
how does the passage of time work?
Yeah, how does aging work?
Because people were younger.
Byakuya is very young.
Very young.
But then 109 years later,
he's not much older.
He's not that much older. Yep.
Yeah, so it's just a little confusing. But all in all, I think it was some of the best flashbacks. I just think it's a little bit weirdly placed.
It was yeah.
And I feel like it you get the cool walkout scene at the end, which is very iconic.
Yep.
Like you see that picture everywhere.
Yeah. Dope as fuck.
But it like ruins the fact that they're on their way to come help.
Yeah, because then it kind of like well, yes and no, because we get that really cool shot when they all finally appear and they're all really.
But I almost feel like they should have shown up and then maybe done the flashbacks. But maybe that would have been a little.
I think
that might have been a little much. Or
they do the little scene. So they do the walkout scene, which is super cool. But that whole point before is like, hey, we owe them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like we owe Aizen and we owe Urahara, so we got to go help them. And everyone's like. But
they could have done the same exact thing where they show up, they go back into the flashbacks, and they still end the same way where they show how they're walking out.
I like this one because it's like Aizen shows up, he fucked everyone over, but it turns out no, Seirete was on it.
But so
he's like, oh, I got all my Arankar.
I might be thinking in manga brain here from when we were reading it, but I feel like they don't show up for a long time after this.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, I think like an obnoxiously long amount of time they don't show up for.
They had to get coordinates. They didn't realize.
Yeah. No, we finish up with Ichigo.
That's why.
And then it jumps back down.
Oh, so they don't show up until after the Ulquiorra fight?
I'm pretty sure.
You know what I realized? They knocked out the entirety of Karakura Town and moved everyone, but did they tell the Vizards?
They had to have. They had to have. Otherwise, they'd be gone also.
Must have.
Oh, maybe that's why they took so long. They're in Soul Society and like, oh, shit.
Fuck.
Like,
wrong place.
It's right here. We know it's right here.
I know damn well we were told to meet here. It's like, and they're in fucking Soul Society. Man.
Oh.
Maybe that's why. That would explain it. The Ubers, there's no Uber out there.
There is. Just constant confusion. You don't know where you're at. You're in the wrong town.
Get a classic kick in the face from Hiyori to fucking Shinji. It's like, classic.
Just keep it all together. So a couple of things I thought was interesting is for some reason, Shinji has a record player.
He does say how much he likes like living world music.
Yes, which good for him. Foreshadowing. He gets kicked his ass right out into the real world.
He's very into jazz.
There's no way he was holding that record player that whole time. Was
Definitely not. So.
Do you think he made a trip back, or
maybe,
he just found one?
Maybe he probably just bought a new one.
Yeah.
But maybe that was like a special one, And then, of course, we talked about it a lot when we were watching it, but I believe her name was Hikifune. She gets the promotion to Squad Zero, which they mentioned.
That was the introduction of it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think when we were reading 1000-Year Blood War and she shows up.
Same.
I didn't even relate.
About it.
She's mentioned all the way back in the fucking flashback. I didn't even realize that.
I think because I had stopped watching Bleach probably during the Noitora fight. Or Noatra, whoever.
We definitely read it up. See, my time span is all weird because the one thing I know we remember reading is Hitsugaya gets slashed in two by Halibal. But I feel like I've watched the Karakura Riser bit. So, that's coming up.
That's what I was going to say, too. I think there was a point in time where we were reading and watching.
Okay.
I know I was, because when I was watching it, I remember...
I wouldn't normally do that. That's why I'm confused.
I remember I watched up until after the Grimmjow fight, after Noitora, and then...
You wouldn't come back.
I
know you would come back for like the Ulquiorra fight.
Yeah. But it's like, and I feel like I watched the fights. the shitty fights that happened before the Karakura.
You know what it was?
like-
we did read it because I remember we were in art class and we were talking about Ulquiorra and Ichigo's fight.
See, but yeah, I know we read that too. I know 100% we read that. So I'm thinking where we stopped watching is the filler, the big filler where the Zanpakutos come to life.
I think
Which
so too.
is sad because I heard that was the cool one.
Yeah, I think that's.
Was there a hiatus that happened with Bleach then?
I don't know.
I don't
Because
think
I feel
so.
like that it's such a weird reason for us to stop because we
Yeah.
are all hype train as fuck.
But it's like we wouldn't have necessarily stopped. We would just switch over to manga and just be like, fuck it,
Yeah.
we're just gonna read the manga.
I think that's what ended up happening.
Because I do think I do remember the first couple of episodes of the filler arc, and that's it. That's all I remember. I don't remember anything past that. And of course, I remember the classic, the 3 little or the 4 pillar fights that go on. Like I remember those in anime form, but then after that, I'm pretty sure that's where I got cut off.
Weird.
Yeah. So other stuff that I thought was just kind of interesting is Urahara is part of the confinement unit, which who knew that was even a part of the
I
Cell
honestly
Squad?
didn't even remember that.
I guess it makes sense because they're ninjas and they
Again, it was just
'Cause
like
it's perfect for introducing Miuri.
that was it.
yeah. It would have been really cool. Like it's kind of like I would like a Bleach Brotherhood. I think that would be really good.
We talked about that.
Because like that whole scene, they walk into the prison because they're like, we're jumping way ahead, but they go to this prison, this containment unit, and Urahara's like, oh yeah, they kind of hang out here, and they're kind of alluding over and over, like, nah, it's not just you're not just a prison guard, like it's more. It's like you're not just, and then you walk in, and immediately everybody sees Urahara and Hiyori walk in, and you can immediately see they're eyeing everybody up.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of like the Kingsman scene in the church.
Yeah, I know
was
exactly
like,
what you're
dude,
talking about.
if
Yeah.
this was like modern day animation, we would have got something like that. Where
And
it's
the
like,
animation was pretty good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty spot
but
on.
it's like it's just everybody would have fucking hopped in and it would have been like, damn, that's
Yeah.
cool. Like that would have been
Ballroom
such a cool
Blitz.
fight scene. Where instead it was just kind of like a like it
1-2,
was
1-2.
it was okay. But
It was a cool demo of him being a badass for a moment. But
yeah.
we made jokes about it. Me and
Hiyori's
Jose
little like. Oh, I thought we were talking about Hiyori's unnecessary move.
Oh yeah, no, there was like a fucking kickflip that she did that took 20 seconds.
She
to
did
get.
a breakdance move into like a kick flip and just
It was like watching the chick from My Hero starting to fight. It was like, oh, okay, cool.
yes,
They're
yes.
just showing off.
But this, I remember very vividly this being like a really cool arc, and I was super hyped. And me and Jose kept making jokes that this was filler because it literally felt like filler.
It was slow enough to be a filler. That's
It was
all.
slow, but with Sam saying at the very beginning, we needed a chart. I feel like in the first episode, they hit you with 32 names
Yes.
and people like it was a Kafut Blood Captain. They're like they used his other name. I'm like, who the fuck is Jushiro? Like what the fuck? And
I'm
he's
surprised
looking
you
at
remembered that. I didn't remember his name right
I
now.
was mad.
Yeah.
It pissed me off. They're like, oh yeah, Jushiro and me and the other guy. It's like, okay, well, I know who the other guy is. I know who you are, obviously. Who the fuck is Jushiro? And it's like, oh, he's literally talking to him right now.
Yep.
But talking to him about him in it.
And I feel like the Vizards at this point, you're still not super familiar with them.
yeah.
So it's like it's weird that they just go like, oh, there's love, there's whatever
Rose
guy.
and-
It's like, oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and we got pissed. It kept coming up, but in the filler stuff, like Sam's brought up in like the Bount arc or in the shitty Kudo or whatever the weird sword, the squid swords.
yeah.
Those
Sure.
they only have like so much information about each character, so they can only use so much. All the captains that are Vizards, they don't do jack shit. And
Except for Kensei.
except they're like, we're gonna have to lose one.
Yeah, which like doesn't Kensei kind of like get fucked on in the later arc? Like he's the only one of the Vizards that gets fucked on in the battle above Karakura Town.
Well,
like he does
they-
not have a good showing, does he?
Yes and no. He gets beat by Wonder Wise, I'm pretty sure.
Because
That's not fair.
Because I feel like if I remember correctly, I remember being offended at the time of reading that we already know his Shikai, so he's gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's like generally the way it works in Bleach is if you haven't seen their powers yet, they're just going to be stronger than anybody's whose powers you've already seen.
That's fair. Except for we saw Aizens pretty quick. We saw Aizens in this one.
I haven't seen his Bankai.
I don't think we ever
he
get to see his
has one.
Bankai.
Yeah, we don't ever get to see it. He has to have one to be captain. I think it's a requirement to become a captain. You have to have a Bankai.
I know Shinji's. I don't know how.
Well, I don't know if they would have known what Urahara's Bankai is then.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, moving back to the show. Basically, Urahara becomes captain of the 12th, and this is pre-research and development because that's what a lot of this arc is about.
We still couldn't figure out who Yoraichi's second. The
Yes.
lieutenant.
They don't ever
show
tell
it.
you.
They
They
don't.
don't.
I had to Google who it was.
Is that spoilers from the novel?
But he's the dad of Soifon's current lieutenant, which is weird.
That's the family aspiration. Always hit.
I don't understand why those two guys are staying in the
but they show
the stealth squad.
They show almost everyone's vice and with their captains, but
they also show the young versions of them, which is actually really cool, and I like all the backstories.
But it's like, where is he? What is he doing?
He's just munching somewhere else. He's like, son, this is the way of the war. You get to vice captain, you get to eat all day.
It doesn't make any sense that he's just not there, and it's like even during a high alert situation, it's like he's doing something.
Speaking of high alert, the whole episode was a high alert at one point, and they're like, you know what? Instead of sending people, captain's meeting.
Yeah, it's the classic.
And I would dread that. Do you know how long that captain's meeting lasted? That lasted like half a fucking episode, which is like 30 minutes.
It's seriously like without doubt, and I imagine there's got to be some sort of a reason from like an author perspective where it gives you the chance to do exposition.
Yeah,
but
which they did
always
heavily.
Fucking do it.
It's
every
insane.
time.
It's to be a captain, you got to understand that you're going to leave during times of crisis.
Yeah, you would think that they would allow that, or like Captain Yamamoto be like, send out a hell butterfly.
Yeah.
We just found out that Tosin can do that bullshit where he can talk to the sky.
So the only thing I can think of for not doing a hell butterfly is like, someone else might intercept the message, but
because it has happened before,
that immediately gets ruled out because I'm not gonna remember her name, but Chill Captain's vice captain or lieutenant was just hanging out outside of the captain's meeting.
Oh yeah,
she was just eavesdropping.
Yeah,
which is a very small room now comparatively.
Yes,
she was outside, literally
small
outside.
room. Open windows. Open windows.
On base floor, too. Yeah. Like, just on the ground.
I thought it was, like, somewhere else, though.
Maybe this is, like, a before they move to the grand hall.
We're in construction. Yeah. It's going to take 100 years.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
Yes, most
but
definitely.
It's so easy for someone to just listen in.
Yeah. It was super stupid.
And he starts the meeting in the hallway. Remember when he's like, Captain Commander walks in? He's like, all right, we're going to start the meeting. Captain Commander's still in the hallway.
I have a gripe. And I noticed it when I watched the last few episodes in the previous Bleach Boys with Noitor's sword. It keeps getting fucking bigger. If you watch the episodes in progression, it just keeps getting larger until he releases it.
So what are we talking about?
Proportions, dude, and the person that is in charge of like repetitively drawing something just has an enlargement fetish. And like he doesn't I'm trying to remember when they announced Urahara as captain of the squad. It was this grand courtyard. It ended. There was a wall right here. But when they do the vice or the captain's meeting, this wall doesn't exist. It's for Lisa to be eavesdropping, and it's this open window.
Yeah.
Magic room, like Harry Potter.
Yes.
And Tessai grew like 42 fucking sizes. Also, they had speaking of Tessai, they had that fucking introduction of Shusui.
Oh yeah,
which was super
guy.
weird.
Yes, yeah, that was something I didn't remember, but now it kind of like it muddles my memory because now there's this weird So, Tosin, Komamoru, right? Yeah. They have a relationship.
Yep.
Tosin, Shusui or she whatever Shuei Isagi, is that name?
Shuei, yeah.
They have a relationship, but then like, so surely would Tensei or Kensei and Tosin as well.
Yeah, because they're on the same squad.
But it's like, do they ever interact when they meet again above Karakura Town? Like, does Kensei ever say anything to Tosin? Because they were clearly on the same squad.
No, and we all know how that goes.
They also painted the picture of Urahara and Mayuri like being, or not Mayuri, Hiyori being like super, super close and everything.
Yeah.
Do they ever talk again?
I don't think so.
I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like they have to for that one. But I don't know.
Recently.
I just feel like they have to.
But based off just these episodes, which like right after we're going to have a little filler, we're probably going to have Ulquiorra fight. We should go to Karakura.
I'm telling you, Ulquiorra fight is not until
after.
So do you think we're going to go back to Karakura?
The Zanpakuto arc.
Holy God. You know what?
I'm thinking the next thing we get is the Battle of the Four Pillars.
Yeah,
that
I feel like
bullshit.
that's right. Yeah.
Is that just inside fake Karakura Town?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's like
where like all the lieutenants go and do their fucking dumbass fights at the pillars.
Donked on.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, no, I agree with you. They had like a lot of relationships that kind of form, and they never had them.
This is just the weird part about doing things in reverse. Like One Piece has this problem a lot with Ace.
Oh yeah.
You know, like everybody knows, I assume, knows Ace's fate. But he was such a fan favorite that it was like, I feel like the author was like, ooh.
Did you feel cheated by it?
No, I didn't feel cheated. I feel like that cool. Like, I'm all for people dying.
Yeah.
Love it. But it's like now they're going back and adding all these extra scenes, which they've done in the anime and stuff, and even they're doing more so in the manga. And it's like he comes off to be so fucking cool, but it's like, why would he die then? Like,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
If he's supposedly that strong and like that cool, like, what are we doing here?
And so during the part where Tessai is converted, they say we've lost their reishi, and basically like the whole problem's happened is that souls start going missing, and not like in a normal way where apparently like your clothes are an attachment of you.
Yo, I wrote that down.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
I was like,
Apparently,
since when?
if you die regularly
As a
and get
soul.
converted to reishi, you take your clothes with you.
Yeah.
But if this magic one, you're dropping your clothes and it's weird.
So I want to know the one first dude that's just like, this is fucking weird, because I just know that they all strip naked completely.
Yeah.
But we see some guys turn to goo. We see a weird umbrella scene, and it protects them from the goo, and then they go on. But basically, Tessai goes to find there's a hollow. He saves Shue, or whatever his name, 69 guy.
Are you thinking about Kensei?
Kensei, yeah.
Kensei, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because Kensei saves Shue, and he sees
starts
the
that
giant
up,
69 in
which
his
was
abs.
never there the entire time
Yes.
prior.
Yep.
And then they stake out because they found that there was supposed to be like a 10-person squad that was sent ahead of them.
Kensei figures it out, and he's like, wait, there was a...
Which it's not really a good strategy. Like, you're like,
Send the 10
I
weak
found
guys out?
Well, no, it's like, I found the spot where the 10 people got killed. I'm going to set up my camp right here.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no, and it's like they talk about later. We were joking, we were watching it, that the Rukon district always gets fucked
It's
on.
the
And
hood.
It is the hood. We've
And
established.
that's where it was happening. They were like, they first got the reports, and when it
pretty
was
sure-
happening to the Rukon district, they didn't care.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, it's
But
people.
the moment it happened to someone in the Soul Society, like, oh, it's a personal affront
Well,
now.
they had like suspicions because Shinji brought up basically like, hey, it's weird that their clothes stayed, which again, still fucking weird. They just wrote that one in, and we're just supposed to be like, okay, cool, yeah.
But it's like, why? There's been no history of it happening in the same exact spot. So it's like, why would they just set up camp on the same exact
you're
spot?
closer to the fucking.
And they're also in that forest. They name drop it later, and I didn't write it down. But it's not even in the Rukon district.
Oh,
This
yeah,
forest,
yeah,
right?
they
It's
said it's
not
on
in
the forest
Rukon
off to the
district.
side
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, the shoe guy.
Yeah,
forest?
it's
Yeah,
like
Sugar
it's not
Forest.
even in the right spot.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, continuity errors, but
But so Kensei saves Shue, and then they set up camp. He sends out all of his like homies, which are he's the only dude that doesn't wear sleeves, which is weird, and all his
'cause
other
he's
homies
ripped.
have to. And he sends them out. He goes and gets like Squad 12 to try and get some help from Urahara. He sends Hiyori, which is like, oh, weird. Why is he sending the one person that becomes a Vizard?
Yeah.
They have the captain's
That's
meeting.
the story of the whole
yeah,
flashback.
pretty much.
We need to send out this amount of people. Oh,
Wow,
that's
that's-
weird.
that's
That's
so
like
exact.
That's the same amount of
That's the
people.
exact amount of Vizards. That's
It's
so weird.
They send him out, and then they're like, oh, the 3 really broken, strong people, we're going to keep them here protecting the Seirete.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
not
of
gonna be-
course, you got to make sure you
Okay,
protect
did
the
any of
goods.
you guys get like? So I got a little triggered knowing that everything we know about Urahara. Urahara volunteers to go.
Yeah.
And she even says, "Why wouldn't you just send me?"
Yeah, and he's
And
like,
I'm like-
oh, well, as the leader of the medical corps or whatever, we need you here. And it's like,
they've done nothing.
Do you think he was trying to
surely-
protect himself?
I assume generally
Like
it's like
the-
protect the castle.
Yeah.
You want to make
Yeah.
sure all your people are at the castle.
Don't send your medics into the field.
Yeah, but like she is more than a medic, and he knows that. It's like so
Yeah.
surely she would one and done this thing, but the in canon universe reason was like, oh well, we don't know what it is yet, so I don't want to like.
I was just kind of like, oh, they kind of brushed that off so easily.
Yes.
Yeah, and so obviously you start the series off with knowing that Urahara, Tessai, and he's got these 2 weird children, and you don't know why they're there. And then they introduce Tessai, and he's the Keto Master, and they introduce Hachi.
I think he's Keto Commander.
Keto Commander, yeah.
I wrote it
Commander.
down somewhere. Yeah, Keto Commander.
Yup.
let's get the name correct, please.
I'm
Keto
sorry.
Commander.
Let's get the fucking Jay and Silent Bob version. I am the Keto Commander. But they bring him in and like, oh, this is how they're going to get kicked out.
Yeah.
And we got Hachi, who takes up the entire 4:3 screen image. Which we have also still found out that we don't know. I feel like the show is in 16:9 in widescreen
It totally
format.
is.
But they
like,
cut
part
off
of it
all
is
of it.
cut off. We can tell because at some points the number gets cut off.
I need to Google it later because Hulu. I swear to God, they have the 16:9s, but they're just like, nah.
Nah.
Like-
Exactly. They're still pulling from this random Joe Snow on YouTube. They're like, yeah, this guy's got all the good content. But yeah, so you see them all, and they make like weird connections, And it just feels like they threw it all together. Like, obviously the Vizards were going to happen like that. That's the only way they became Vizards. But the Urahara, Yoruichi, and the Kido Commander, it just seemed like super like thrown together. They do this like...
They're like, oh yeah, we were friends before.
Yeah, it was like this weird way like Tessai, Kido Commander, looked over at Urahara, and you couldn't tell if he was looking at Chill Captain or who the fuck he was looking at.
I call it like when we watched that. So he goes to walk out. And he turns, does like a dramatic stare at Urahara. Like, who the fuck's he staring at? Like, what's he?
Obviously, it's Urahara.
He knows. He knows
why.
What's
yeah,
gonna
but it's
happen.
like we're like, why? And then you find out way later that it's like, oh, we spent all that time at Yoruichi's mansion together.
It's like, what?
Yeah, it's like,
why? And they're like, they made a huge point. The Kido Commander's here. I haven't seen him in years.
okay, and Granddad Byakuya, okay,
Okay, fuck you. First of all,
like he doesn't do anything.
no. So we see this old dude who I assumed at the first part was like, is it just like
just a
before,
fill-in captain?
Yeah.
Well, this I thought it was the first captain's vice captain. I'm like, oh wow, he got like a redo, like a makeover or some shit. We've seen him before, but this is 100 years ago before he found out about
whenever
Botox.
you see his vice captain in this flashback.
No!
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
But we see him, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And Jose's like, oh, it's old man Byakuya. And we're like, bullshit. And then they looked it up, and it's like, oh, no, it is.
Yep.
It's his grandpa. And I was so mad.
It was the hair.
It made sense. It didn't seem wrong, but it's like, none of us remember that, and they just barely pass over him.
Yeah, it was really weird. And it was like, I don't know. They could have filled that with a Vizard or somebody.
Yeah.
But it's like they give you this old man Kuchiki guy or Byakuya just to show you like, oh, look, it's like the Byakuya
The
squad.
family,
Like, here you go.
Which made it worse for us because everyone ages so fucking weird in the show.
Dude, I would have liked to have seen what his Shikai or Bankai is. Like,
Just something.
he's
Yeah,
never
right?
going to be in it again.
Oh,
like,
yeah, they could've
like,
wrote-
why
like,
are we saving him? Like,
What if he had Senbone Sakura and it was
Yeah,
just
I
like
would
it's a
love to
It's like
know.
pastel
a
thing?
it's like
I
a
would
different.
love to
Yeah,
know.
that would have been sick.
But it's so weird. So obviously we see him and we get the cool interaction because Sam brought up that Byakuya is super young, and you see Byakuya training and he's getting teased by Yoruichi. He gets
the
a
classic
boob-
scene.
Yeah,
boob
I
touch to
love
the
that scene
face.
though. Yeah,
But
I'd be okay with that.
Byakuya is like a total youngster. Like,
Yes.
oh fuck you, my fucking flash tip is
Yeah,
as fast as
I like
you.
how his grandpa's just like, when you learn to control your temper, you will be god tier.
But his grandpa's not the super strict follow the rules, because if him and Yoruichi were fucking around, I can guarantee you Byakuya would have been like, cut that shit out, homies. Like, get the fuck out of here, Yoruichi. But his grandpa's like, oh, that's that kid. Oh, you know.
Yeah.
And
It's because
Byakuya's
he's a
like
boomer
that.
now. That's why.
But what causes Byakuya to become himself?
Probably
his
you know,
wife
having
dying.
to take over the family, his wife dying. You
Oh,
know, it's
yeah.
like-
Adopting
But
a
his
sister,
dad- his grandpa's
adopting a
ahead of the
sister.
family.
Yeah.
Where's his... okay, well, Byakuya had to have a dad, so his dad's dead if...
He's got to be, I guess.
Grandpa
That's a great
Byakuya
question.
is the fucking head of cap.
Where is Byakuya's
Stop
dad?
yawning.
That's a
Eek.
great question.
Why does Yoruichi have such a fascination with him, too?
It's her, you know.
They-
Yeah. And they had this weird thing with her where they said, oh, she's the head of the Shihon clan. And she also happened to become a captain. Just, you know, no nepotism, nothing like that. She just got promoted to captain.
I think there is explicit nepotism. Like, I think
Yeah.
the Shihon clan specifically oversees the
the Shihon
the ninja
clan
bullshit.
Wow, I cannot say clan without saying flan first. She takes over the spy network,
Stealth Force.
the stealth force, and they're not a part of the Seirete. But if she becomes captain, they become
Then all of a sudden it
Seirete.
unites, yeah.
Okay.
So-
okay.
But that seems super bad for like bipartisanship or anything
Yeah.
like that. Now the stealth force is immediately under the
Maybe
guise
the
of
checks and balances, you know?
There's
Maybe-
no checks and
maybe that's-
balances.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of no checks and balances, by the way, can we talk about the fact they straight up minority report people? when
Yeah, right?
Yeah!
What the fuck?
With
Urahara as
it
lead.
never comes up again, and they're minority reporting people where they say Central 46 decides who's going to be a danger,
Yeah.
and imprisons them.
It's
Yup.
just like, hey, Josh started going off about how he would prefer
Yeah.
this one captain to win. They're like, you know what? I don't think so. You're getting fucking sent to the prison.
He said one bad thing about Genryu.
And that's where they met Mayuri. So
Yep.
it's like
Yeah.
it's those kind of people where it's like Mayuri is not explicitly a bad guy as we know because we've seen it,
Yeah.
but it's like, oh, he seems a little too risky to let free. Like his ideas are a little too weird.
Yeah.
We're gonna lock him up.
Yeah.
Even though they end up liking him towards the end.
Yeah.
But the weird part is that they say, oh yeah, it's totally because they haven't done anything yet. And then they make them seem like bad guys, especially to Hiyori, because they attack. It's like,
Yeah.
of course, because they said basically Urahara's like, have you ever heard of somebody resigning? It's like, oh, yeah, I remember. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they just give you the whole thing, and then they're like they were removed.
He drops that they're basically assholes, and I think he says straight up it's Central 46's like thing from the get-go. Like they did,
that's why Aizen hated them.
They decided this. Like, you can't retire, you can't do anything.
Because we asked earlier, I was like, do you guys know if we can retire as a captain? Because obviously it was when Mikafune goes up to Zero Squad.
And they originally said she retired.
Which all the captains know that.
Yes.
So Urahara in Squad 2 knows more than fucking captain level people.
Yep.
Which is weird.
That's just how he is, though. You know how.
Yeah, that makes sense. But, you know, it's Urahara. Not that all of Squad 2 fucking Yoruichi all know that. It just seemed weird. And then, they all attack because they want to get the fuck out of there. It's if you basically just don't want to be a part of the fucking 13 Core Guard Squad.
Yeah, they just can you.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're just not a fit. Like, if you're there and you're like, ugh, this is just not the, eternal afterlife I've ever wanted, you get sent to eternal afterlife in a prison.
I'm just saying that, as we've talked about multiple times, the Soul Society does not come off as
a great place.
Specifically, even the 13 Court Guard squads, they come off as awful.
You've got the Rukon district. you've got the Maggot's Nest.
You fucking die. We die tomorrow, and it's like, we're going to Soul Society.
Rukon district.
Motherfucker.
Give me Hollow-Fied. I don't want my clothes anymore. Get them off me.
Fuck. It's like, we got to move
cool.
districts.
We got to be cool,
districts.
guys. Yep.
To go back on the stupid bullshit of your soul disappears with your clothes. They're like, what is it? Kensei's vice captain, Mahura or Mashiro. She comes out, I found these 10 cloaks. And he's like, oh no, this is the 10 party ahead of us. But look, they were able to take their clothes off without removing their sash. I'm like, oh, maybe they just put the sash back. And then the next scene caught us off guard. They're like,
socks.
Look, they didn't remove their socks from their sandals. It's like, okay, that's
touche.
Cool.
They knew someone was gonna ask.
Somebody had to do that 20 fucking times and also tie up 10 sashes. I don't know. That just seems kind of finagling. That's weird.
And then we did get a couple of cameos. We see Kid Gen really early on, and we were all confused by that.
Just murdering everybody.
By the way, he murders the third seat of Shinji's squad, and nobody says anything.
Nope.
That's the entrance to Gen, and it's like nobody's going to ask what happened to that guy.
And you never see him again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gin or fucking the third guy. And Shinji obviously at one point says, Aizen, I never trusted you. But then for the third fucking seat to die, and then they never introduce Gin. Like, welcome to third seat.
The whole time I was watching, I was like, it's too weird that nobody is mentioning the third seat having been killed, because he's not part of the group that disappeared. He straight up got killed.
Yeah.
And then nobody, so jumping way ahead, you find out that Aizen was this mystery guy is taking over for Aizen. What happened to him?
Oh, that's right.
That guy.
He's probably the guy that everyone saw.
Did they just go back to Soul Society afterwards and glack the fuck out of him? What happened to that guy?
He had to know he was going to die, right?
Yeah.
So basically what Sam's talking
about
is...
he's the Aizen that we saw murdered?
He cut the ties 100 years later.
See them.
This guy's just I got a great gig.
It's like, this is fucking great,
Yeah,
dude.
just walk around, act, and talk like Aizen completely, and then I just get stabbed in the middle.
Memorize all of his things he's ever done.
All his gestures, everything.
They did some cool shit where it's like, Aizen has full and utter hypnosis, where he could have just literally made nobody do anything. He could have just made it seem like Aizen was behind you at all times.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Why did he need the body double?
But I think that's his...
I don't know if he could project.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking too, because remember Hitsugaya stabs Momo at one point thinking, it's Aizen, and then it's like, no, Jukja, it's your girl.
So does it always have to be a body double? He can't just do projections?
I feel like he just controls reflections of light.
Yeah,
really.
that makes a lot of sense. More illusions than anything.
Okay.
But yeah, so he has a bald dude, which there was 2 bald dudes, none of them are Ikaku, little lame, but he walks around and follows Shinji the entire time and just acts like Aizen, which apparently he was trained to do and all this other shit. It's like, that guy's not going to question it? That's not weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
Hey, sometimes you're a servant.
Yeah,
I guess sometimes you're like, you just accept your position. As we saw in the big holification fight towards the end, Tozen was a big bitch to Aizen. Oh my god.
He's a big bitch to Aizen. I thought we were just talking about he's a big bitch.
He just fucking kneels down all the time. Oh man.
I am so sorry for even saying I didn't do it. Oh my god.
Yep.
And Tosin gets a limelight like I never wanted. I hate him.
Yeah.
basically Tessai is out in his tent and he's just like, oh, somebody died out there. And then you see 3 people knocked out or one person knocked out. Then you see Tosin knocked out. Immediately know that bitch
Josh
is
like,
fucking lying.
No.
I saw him like, you little bitch ass motherfucker. And then you see another dude. They make it seem like he's betraying everyone.
Yep.
And then he's glacked.
To try to make you double guess yourself.
Yeah.
And then you see the darkness.
Yep. And you're like, oh, that Tosin bitch
And they
is out
really
again.
try to play it off like, who could be doing it?
Yeah.
And it's like, come on.
Immediately. And even Tessai, his fucking captain's like, oh man, who did this?
Yeah.
Or is it Tessai or Tensai? Tensai's the
Tessai.
Keto commander.
Tessai.
Tessai.
Kinsei is the guy with the dagger.
I am terrible. And like I said, they needed a chart.
But listen,
for this.
go after Josh this time in the comments.
Yeah,
everybody.
bros. I don't read them. But dude, yeah, they played him out and they made all the captains look like chumps.
Pretty much,
Fighting,
yeah.
Well, it's weird because the whole fight, like we were joking about watching it, they don't use their Shikai, they don't use their Bankai.
They just didn't want to reveal it, and I think
None of them did.
we came to it.
It's
the
it's
conclusion,
fair.
yeah.
But Kensei is.
Do you remember Hiyori was like, "Oh, I don't want to draw my sword. It's Kensei."
Yeah,
But nobody else had that feelings.
Yeah.
No, they were
Shinji
like-
was like, yes, we understand that, but that's why we need to take this
Love
seriously.
gets glacked right at the
Yo,
beginning, and
yeah.
he gets like a hole punched through his shirt.
Yep.
And then Rose just is useless as always.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is getting close to Soifon levels of worthless. Like, oh my god. But Kensei is like in like Bankai format.
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
he doesn't
yeah.
have the loop.
Yeah.
He's just got
Yeah.
fists. But
He's
they
got
kind
his
of
knuckle dusters.
Yep.
Yeah. But they don't
The
do that
lad.
for anyone else. Well, they do it for his vice captain. She gets like the legs.
She does have the legs. Yep, that is correct.
But Shinji and all the other ones, they just get the mask kind
Yeah.
of. Shinji's was weird. His like went all over his body.
Yeah, he was
'Cause
going
it was
like full hollow.
kind of like
almost.
Ichigo's, yeah.
And yeah, he was. I love when they're like, oh, having like an aggressive state is what causes it to
Agitated state,
Agitated
yeah.
state. And Shinji's like, oh, if I just stay calm. So he immediately goes, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, that got it. It stopped
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Shinji was the real MVP, which was kind of weird. Obviously, he's like the leader of the Vizards.
Yeah.
But it was like he wasn't really super present in most of the flashbacks.
Yeah.
It was very much Urahara, Hiyori based.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
much.
And
'Cause it's
Shinji
like-
was an asshole.
And then we get that cool scene where like he's about to leave and he's got his super new cloak on and Tessai's like, "Oh, I knew you were gonna leave the minute I saw you."
Oh yeah, that was the greatest debut.
That was the reveal where they used to have these sex parties at the mansion. That was the same conversation.
Yup.
So that was just fucking weird. But it was like, yeah, it's like, oh, we'll go together. It'll be
Yeah.
fun, you know? And I always remembered like Tessai being a badass. But
Yeah.
And he was still pretty fucking
I
cool.
don't remember how much of a badass he was.
You remember
when
that
we watched
blue
it.
lightning he fucking shot?
Yeah,
Holy
I remember
shit.
that from watching it. Like way back, I watched like a clip
So
of it.
that blue lightning, like when he shoots it, that was super well animated. I was like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
that looks good. Like that was really well.
That's where the budget went. That's
Yeah,
why
no
we,
shit.
That's why we
That's
couldn't
probably-
get proportional
They
arms.
couldn't get
And
proportions
even the
on anyone.
explosions and stuff was like, oh, that's
It was
beautiful.
really well.
Okay.
Like Kensei punches Love at one point, and it's an explosion that looks like a fucking sonic boom.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, okay, that
Maybe
looked
their
good.
explosion guy is just
The
really, he's
explosion
really
guy,
on it.
proportion guy needed to get
Yeah.
fired right off the
You
bat.
know, like in the anime studio simulator we played, they put all the money on the explosion guy. They lowered the bar on the proportion guy.
So we need you to be really good at drawing the same image
Yeah.
42,000
Yeah.
times. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Probably like $5,000.
Why do you have a Twitch, dude? Like,
Sorry, I had like 45 cups of coffee, man. I got this.
It was insane. But yeah, no, I remember that. And one thing that stuck out is I don't know how the Hado system works until they bring in
Basically, just the
Hachi.
higher numbers are the better.
Yeah,
numbers.
so they're like, oh, a level 90 without an incantation?
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, and then we
But-
get to see, Tessai's forbidden
But his was
techniques.
only, well, yeah.
So
that's-
Tessai's was 88 is
Yeah.
what his was, which was the giant fuck lightning beam thing,
Yeah.
which was crazy. And then Aizen blocked the Hado 88 with Bakudo 81.
Donku. Or
Yeah,
Which is
Yeah.
the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't even look.
Yeah.
He's just like, deuces, motherfucker. And then it just blocks the whole thing, which again, Soul Society sucks dick. How did they not? That was the biggest explosion I've ever seen out there.
It was basically a nuke happened in your backyard, and you're like,
You're like,
Captain's meeting? Captain's meeting?
I'm just going to go home. I'm going to roll over and sleep.
So obviously Tessai didn't realize this until he saw the complete damage. But Tessai goes on to use time stop and teleportation,
yeah,
Two
which is
forbidden
gnarly.
Hados.
which surely don't ever come up ever again.
Well, they do it again in the same episode or the next episode.
Oh, yes.
But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just
Well,
the-
that's just to
But we
to
don't
save
get to see
them.
that. We don't get to see that.
I told Sam, especially with the way they showed Aizen, it's like, okay, Aizen can do a fucking lower level Hado and still block the fucking Keto Commander with no fucking...
Yes.
But if there's forbidden technique, Aizen can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Urahara could I was surprised. That was like the first thing I ever saw Urahara not know about.
Yeah.
He's like, what? You can do that? That's impossible. But there's no way.
Nani?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I
But,
think he even respects his request when Tessa's like, "Oh, just please like cover your ears and don't look." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Okay."
but how do they find out?
Yeah, but it's like if he was gonna do that already, like I said, he obviously just was like, "Oh, this is really shitty." He could have just cut Aizen on the spot if we're time stopping.
Yeah.
Like
They introduced that. They didn't think about it.
What if
They
it
never
wasn't?
do.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't Aizen there?
Well, I will say what happened is he's like, can you close your ears and look away for a few moments?
Yeah.
I feel like that was this is going to take a minute. We're going to have to get out of here, but it's going to take like a 5 minutes.
Okay, well, Aizen just slow walked out of the fucking thing. Like, surely he can't get that far in the forest.
Yeah.
Like, just time stop and go walk your ass over
What
to
if
the
he's
forest.
flash stepping, but he's doing it like in a slow
Well,
motion?
as we saw most of the flashback, ain't no one was flash stepping until they were in combat.
No,
they
but
just slow walked everywhere.
but they still get winded. The fucking Urahara, I just got here. Whew.
Just why not flash step everywhere you go? That doesn't make any sense.
It is crazy.
So we get the first appearance of the Hogyoku after
Yeah,
that as
that-
well.
that-
I didn't realize that's what it was going to be.
Yeah, so it was weird. It's not the first appearance because we've seen it before, but I mean
Yeah.
like the first timeline appearance
Yeah.
of it. And they call it a substance. Like they keep
Yeah.
calling
I
it
didn't
like,
think
oh,
it was a substance. And then he's like, "There's a presence in there."
yeah, it's like, oh, he created a substance. And I was like, oh, it's like, and I think they referred to it as a liquid. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to use the substance on them. I was like, oh, what is
Weird.
it going to be? And then he pulled out the Hogyoku. I was like, oh,
Which
It's
is
like, okay.
Which is so weird to me. Is I want to know. Oh, they briefly go over it, but basically Aizen is doing the holification process, and Urahara shows up and he's like, "Oh, you're doing a holification process," which then says, "Oh fuck, Urahara knows about this." Which the only way he could have done that is through testing. And so they basically just say, "Oh, I was just trying to make the soul stronger for Soul Reapers."
Yeah, he's trying to
Yeah,
strengthen the
yeah.
And
Soul
he
Reaper
creates
soul.
like
Yeah.
the fucking wish stone, the fucking
Yeah.
alchemist stone for the whole
pretty
series.
good. Pretty good.
That's wild.
And it's like the whole time we were watching, like they started fighting, and immediately when Urahara shows up, I was just like, how does Aizen get away? Like it doesn't make any sense that Urahara just can't tell
Yeah.
them. But then they explain it, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
They got
that
Central
makes sense.
46.
Basically, yeah, Central 46 ruins it again. And I totally forgot that Aizen has technically been in Soul Society all along.
Yeah.
So, because of his bald clone guy.
Which they had this random scene where Captain Urahara, or not Urahara, Kiraku is walking around.
Yeah.
They see Aizen. He's like,
Yeah.
which
What up?
spot on. I thought it was Aizen. That was perfect. And they see a couple of guards, and Chill Captain's pretty much like, ooh, something suspicious, but he can't like. So can he maybe see through it?
I don't
don't
think so.
think he
I
can.
think he was just doing the general, like, which we saw a few times
Something's
in the
off,
flashback
yeah.
of people being up and like, oh, something's not right tonight.
Oh.
I think that's what he was generally doing.
It's a star sign thing. They probably
Yeah.
should check their zodiac.
But it's like Urahara, and it almost made me wonder if maybe Aizen had control of the Central 46 at this point, but I don't think so. Because
Well,
that'd be
they
a
use
long
his voice
That'd be
actor
a
for
long
everyone.
con for 100 years.
Yeah.
But because Urahara tells Central 46, like, you would still pocket that information. At one point.
Yeah.
of course.
It's like, I don't believe
steamrolled
you,
him.
Urahara, but I'm going to, I'll remember that Aizen was accused once. Like,
Which we talked about this right before Central 46 showed up. We're pretty much like, there's no way in hell, even because they've established Urahara, Tessai, they all have good
Yeah.
relations with Captain Yamamoto, regardless of the
which
fact.
is weird because Urahara is only captain for 9 years.
He really,
Yeah.
So how much
They-
of a relationship could he really have?
They made it
Yeah.
seem like there was like way more.
They
but,
seemed like
I
they
mean,
were boys, like
And-
Dumbledore and fucking guy from movie.
yeah, and
Snape.
Yamamoto is
Not
like,
Snape, Fantastic Beast guy.
Oh, Newt.
Newt. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
First name.
Scamanders.
Somewhere. It's Newt Scamander. Oh, that was his first name. Shit. But yeah, even when they have the captain's meeting that should not have happened,
Yeah.
Urahara is still being treated as like a little boy. Like,
Yeah.
he wanted to go save Hiyori, and they're like, Nope.
So like they don't show you that Captain Commander has any faith in this guy. And that captain's meeting is after the 9-year jump. So it's like it's at the tail end of the 9-year jump.
And they're still treating Urahara as a newbie, which he is the newest captain.
Technically,
which he lived thousands of years,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, he is, which is why it doesn't make any sense. How are they so close?
But he was able to build the entire research and development center, and it was almost thriving, I would say, at that point.
Yeah, it was doing great because remember, they all get teleported back in there. He pops up the fucking Hogyoku, and then it's just like, all right, time to fix him.
So do you guys feel like, so, you know, they obviously, Central 46 doesn't believe them, and they get sentenced. Do you guys think Tessai got fucked more on the sentence than
he got?
Urahara? He's sentenced to, like, underground prison for, like, life or something.
Which I think was probably just the maggot's nest.
Yeah, probably.
They didn't give it that title.
And then they were
before.
stripping their...
but that's way shittier. So they weren't going to strip Tessai, which was weird.
Yeah.
But Urahara got... You're exiled to the real world, and we're gonna strip you of all of your spiritual pressure.
Yeah. But I mean,
energy.
Good thing fucking Yoruichi just comes in, busts fucking...
But it's like, if they're not stripping Tessai, the Keto commander, he can just break out.
Yeah.
Well, the theory crafters in the comments will totally say, well, that's because Urahara is way stronger, and they knew about that in his hidden potential, so they took it away from him. Tessai just has the fucking
He's
100.
the Keto commander.
He's
the Keto commander.
He can teleport, remember?
Oh,
yes, and he can time stop.
Which... do you honestly think that he's the only one that knows that? They knew it was a forbidden technique.
You know, like
how do they know he did it?
So you know, like in One Piece, how they have the special stone that gets rid of the gum fruits?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. The sea
thanks.
stone something.
Yeah, it's... Do they have that in Bleach? Like,
I mean, they have to have something.
How do they like handcuff people? Like, there's got to be something that stops like people from using...
Do they talk about it when Rukia gets...
Oh, maybe.
I feel like that makes sense.
Speaking of her, how the fuck did she get the Hogyoku in her chest again? I know Urahara put it there.
Urahara put it in a Gigai and then gave it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Wait, but they only made 10 Gigai, which was enough for Tessai.
He could make more. He made more later on, though.
Yeah, I think it was he made it.
So he brought the Hogyoku just fucking bare bones?
Oh, I think he definitely
easily
pocketed that shit.
You know how he got that out.
But he brought it with no Gigai?
But it just makes you wonder, you know, like, what point did Aizen learn about the Hogyoku? Like, where did he? Because
it's nowhere there.
Yeah. Where did he learn that?
He does talk about it, but I don't remember if he brings it up like coming up when he sees Urahara again, or
he probably traveled to the world of the living, left his homie bald
Time
dude.
stopped.
Time stopped.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he donked and he's like, wait, they're gonna time stop. I'm gonna time stop first. Just watch this shit.
Yeah. How does it work? You know, it's like
and. So there's a scene before all this pops off. We see Shinji is shit talking Urahara. It's like his second day as captain. He's just like, "You're not made out for this."
Yeah.
And he walks away and he rips a veil open, and
which is pretty badass.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. That was really well animated too.
Yeah, it was. And Aizen's behind there, and I brought it up. And I was like, "What if he was just like a voyeur?"
Asterisk. Fake Aizen.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's probably why he saw through it.
Yeah.
But what if he was just jacking off?
Yeah, well,
he's just like, I love when two captains
fake
are
Aizen
watching.
was like, oh, I'm behind the middle thing, so I'm just gonna fucking go for it.
Yeah.
Fuck it, dude.
Yeah, you get too cocky. That was the one thing that kind of threw the whole plot out. And then Aizen, his explanation to Shinji as to why he won was basically, you didn't love me, Dad, so I did this.
Yeah, that's
but
pretty
I
much
chose
what it
you,
was.
Dad.
I thought it was kind of interesting in terms of like,
The
if
reverse
you had
psychology.
just treated me as like a regular person, like, and we would have, because obviously the lieutenants and captains are very close.
Yeah.
It's like, you would have probably saw what I was doing, but the fact that you were so suspicious
I wanted
of
you
me,
to see me
you
pops.
kept me like, you know,
At
COVID
arm's
distance
length,
away.
Yeah.
It's like, I was allowed to kind of slip in and out and do whatever I wanted.
Because it's like, I'll hear an inflection in Sam's voice and be like, okay, we mad today? Like, what's up, homie? But he's just like, oh, yep, no, Aizen did the head nod thing and we're all Gucci. Which is super, because no matter what, there was a 9-year period. Like, it doesn't matter how far you keep a person away. Like, you know shit about them.
Yeah.
It seemed weird. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. It just seemed fucking kind of iffy. And then Aizen's like, oh, I chose you right from the get-go because you knew from the get-go that I was like some fucked up dude. So I chose you because you didn't trust me.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
And it's like, you know, a lot of this art comes down to what the fuck is Central 46's problem, okay?
I hate them.
The fuck is their problem?
It's a good thing,
because even at the end of the arc, they send in Urahara and Tessai, and then they go, oh, and all those people that got holified, who we don't know if they're okay or not, we're just going to eliminate them as hollows.
Yep.
So,
which I don't like the Central 46 layout. It's all these dudes hidden behind a fucking poster
Yeah.
board. It's like, hey, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. It's weird.
Well,
it's like
they
a
always
weird
talk
porno.
about how like online there's a big conversation about like the anonymity makes people meaner.
Oh, yeah.
It
That makes
basically
sense,
gives them the
yeah.
anonymity.
But the
like,
three main people, the one guy
Yeah.
that makes the call out,
The
he's
old
just white out in
dude,
the open.
he's an
But they don't
asshole.
have lights in the room.
Yeah.
It's super stupid.
It
keeps the mystery.
Like, Central 46, I hope to God in Burn the Witch period is not a thing anymore.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
what the fuck?
So
Yeah.
that's post Ichigo and everything, or like
we don't don't really know because there hasn't been any cross pollination. But
okay, but it's just
in
confirmed
universe.
in there. Okay.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
yeah. So I hope to fucking God that gets abolished.
How many
Like,
times have they been glacked? Is it twice?
Uh,
They
Twice,
get
yeah, I
glacked by
believe it's
Aizen,
twice.
and
and I
then
feel like they get glacked again.
By you all, I think.
yeah, because he goes there. He
Yeah.
goes there to.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm gonna do you guys a favor real quick.
Yeah,
But
like, hey, my man, fucking take him out.
it's the two people that are trying to re-originate the world that really get. They're like, Central 46 is the problem.
Yeah, they get it. They
Yep,
get it.
And
That's true.
I wanted to know where they got Central 46 as a name.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a production studio that they reference in the credits. It's something like Contract 46 or something like that. I
Oh.
saw that. It just because we watched the
Makes
dub.
sense, yeah.
So me and Sam talked about it. The frame rate is fucking weird for the credits. It like
Shoot,
fucking
like
flies.
rockets.
But they have to get all the Japanese people that worked on it
Mm-hmm.
and all the fucking Americans that did all the English dubs. So it just fucking zooms past. But I remember seeing something 46, and I was like, it was bolded. It made it seem like there was a thing going on. I was like, oh, maybe that's where they just pulled the name out their
Well, I
ass.
imagine they had that in the manga beforehand, so probably not.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
Well, it could be the manga studio.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it could be like, or some like Tite Kubo already had that.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Jump?
that's like he liked
Jump
that
did it?
studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it could have been. It could have been.
Because it just seems like a random number.
Or alternatively, he hates that studio because he kills them off over and over, and they're douchebags.
Oh.
They're the ones who didn't accept Bleach the first time.
Mega plot
yes,
twist.
Yes.
Maybe Tight, my homie Tight.
Tight,
that's what
yes,
he likes
yes.
to be called. Tight he saw Jim Carrey's movie 23, and he was just like, "Oh, I don't want to copy that
Yeah.
too much." And we've got this guy
Yes.
that's immediately going to murder it. There's all
That
these
makes sense.
numbers and stuff. 46, it's 2 times 23.
Yeah.
So he's double 23. He's up the ante twice.
This is all the sequel to that movie.
Yeah,
So,
I can guarantee you there's
yeah.
at least one dude on the internet that agrees with me.
Probably.
It's probably me, and I'm going to like my
it's
own
his
comment.
favorite movie.
It makes sense. It checks out.
But all in all, I feel like I remember liking that flashback, the whole Vizard flashback, a lot more.
I agree with
like
you.
on the second rewatch, I was kind of like, I could have gone my whole life without really seeing that.
Yeah, it was just a bit slow for me.
I think it's because we know now the vice or all the captains, like the Vizards and
Yeah.
their powers. We know that they could have done way more.
Yeah.
And that them being a holified like Tessai, just ungodly.
Tessai.
Dude,
Jesus,
Just
this
merging Tessai and Kensai. That's
fist
their
punchy
ship
dude.
name. Yeah.
Fist punchy dude in the holification should have
Yes.
wrecked them all. And
Yeah, I agree. It's like the power level's all off, especially
Yeah.
if they're just using Shikai. It's all
yeah.
screwed.
They weren't even using Shikai.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
It's-
you're right. Yeah, it's
they were just
based on
like,
Macdo.
oh,
They're
you
just
know
bare
what?
fist fighting almost at this point.
Yeah.
But they reference multiple times in that fight. Fuck, we might die.
Yeah.
Like, do something.
It
if
doesn't make any
only.
sense, and that's the hard part about trying to do the flashbacks, where it's like you're going back in the past, but then they haven't revealed their powers yet, and you want to save that for the big fight.
You know what they should have done? They should have had the Vizards show up, and then to explain why they're helping, it's like, hey, why are you here? It's like, don't you remember? And then
Wow, that's almost exactly what I said at
Yeah,
the
he
beginning
said
of the
that
fucking
right
podcast.
oh,
and
you mean
and you
after
shit
them?
on me.
I thought you meant no.
You
I meant
shit on me.
No. They have to fight for a
spitting
little
on you,
bit
dude.
with their Shikai, maybe Bankai showing up.
No.
You said they show up.
So you wanted to be dead smack dab in the middle of the fight when they go back into this.
they put a filler arc before Ulquiorra fight. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
I think mine is better.
It
but
was
that's
it
okay.
was a 2-month filler arc we just watched that was passed as canon.
I just think at the very least they could have shown Shikai's at the very least.
I
Yeah,
agree,
I
with,
agree
that.
with that.
But the problem is we don't really see Bankai's until we see Fist Punchy dude. Not gonna fuck that up again. His Bankai Kensei. We see his Bankai in Karakura Town, don't
yes,
we?
yes,
we
yes,
do.
yes,
We
yes,
see,
yes, yes.
We don't see Rose's. We can't see Shinji's, or we don't.
What is Hiyori's?
What is Hiyori's?
She doesn't have
Shikai.
a Bankai. She just has a Shikai.
We know
What is it? What is her Shikai?
I don't remember.
She's a sword punch. Does she have a gun? Why do I feel like she has a gun?
That'd be fucking awesome. Just like, here's my Glock.
You got Lilionette over there. I got a fucking Glock.
Shout out.
I don't remember hers.
Okay, would espadas be affected by bullets?
I don't think they would because
they
of
got
the
Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
If you have like a sable round.
what if I get 50 cal sniper set up somewhere, armor piercing rounds?
Yeah.
I mean, you can try.
fucking Nortor is like, ha ha ha, I am the strongest. And you're just like, son of a bitch.
And I hit him right in the eye. Like I aim for a soft spot.
You go
so
right
it goes
through
right
his
through his
hollow.
eye.
No, his like
his
other
other eye.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
You got to account for wind, you know.
Okay, well, in this magical world, I hit them right in the eye. Would a bullet work?
No.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You think
think
Kenpachi had to start fucking cutting different? Like he's like, oh, I had to get used to your.
Is anybody tried a gun? That's all I'm asking.
Have you tried getting slashed
There is
by
no
Kenpachi?
guy with gun here.
Yeah, well, Stark, but
Yeah, and he
We don't know that
energy
yet.
blast.
Stark
don't
is
know
the
that.
only one with
But
a
he
gun.
shoots arrows out of his gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the equivalent of like a fucking railgun on speed, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying a bullet might work. You know, we don't know.
That one guy in our comment section from the last video, please let us know. We need to know, will a gun work on the
It
Espada?
could happen. So
I feel like a gun wouldn't work on like captain level people. So I feel like it wouldn't work on
but
an
captain
Espada.
level are just pure. So the only thing I think about for captain levels and hollows both is if the bullets will just go straight through them in terms
'cause
of like,
they're-
because
they
they're
are
like,
ghosts.
Yeah, they're ghosts.
I mean, yeah,
Same
sure.
thing for Espada.
Yeah. But I'm saying let's coat the bullet. About 'em.
It's an armor piercing,
So-
but ghost piercing round.
It
Just,
can affect the ghost
fill it
somehow.
with a reishi or something.
You know what? If you're going for ghost piercing, might as well get a Espada piercing at that point.
Yeah, well, I want to take a normal bullet and just make it work and see if it
$10.
works.
Urahara and Mayuri have been working on that instead of all the other problems in the fucking
See,
Soul
if
Society.
any of this had taken place in America, we would know
Yeah.
if this works. But instead, it takes place in fucking Japan, where
They have a
everybody's
weaponized ghost
no
jet.
violence, not
Yeah.
gonna shoot, da 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 da.
Won't use Shikai,
It's
you know?
like if you were in America and you saw like you were a policeman and you saw a hollow. Well, you can't see the hollow, but you just see something go, boom. You would
Yeah.
immediately start shooting.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sam
it'd be,
has the fucking Bankai sword. He'd be whipping it out.
it'd be over.
I know this will work.
Yeah.
It's invisible.
It's like this one I've seen work on ghosts. I know. So
Yeah.
I mean, we just need to ask the question: Do bullets work?
Do you guys think
Yeah.
the bullets will work?
No, that's a good question. I don't think so though. I just don't see it
Yeah, I-
happening.
I
Maybe
agree.
it's in one of the novels. Let us know in the comments down
Oh.
below. Who knows?
Yeah.
Do bullets work on anyone really? Can
No.
it work on a Soul Reaper? Can it work on a Hollow? Can it? It'll definitely work on a Quincy.
Yeah, fuck those
100%.
guys.
Yeah,
Fuck
those
those
guys.
guys.
Bap, bap.
And will it work on Fullbrings?
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, definitely full rings,
Dude,
yeah.
are you saying Chad, my guy, Chad would
Oh,
get
he's
shot?
done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Do a
dude.
bullet, he's
Oh.
done.
that's rough.
Kneecap is dumbass.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks for watching. That's been Bleach Boys episode 21.
That
Be sure to
dude.
leave a like and subscribe on the video and leave us a good rating if you're listening to this. And we hope you enjoyed it. Have a good weekend or weekday or whatever day it is you're watching
Have
this.
a
And we'll
day.
be back
Have a
next
yeah,
time.
just have a day.